We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's about to go down in a minute. Let me touch down. I'ma get it. Cause I've been waiting all night. It's game time.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Fantasy Typhoon. Welcome to Game Time. This is what we call help or hurt. This episode is what we call help or hurt. This episode is what we call help or hurt. And what I'm doing is I'm just coming through and I'm going to take the criticism. This is a Monday show anytime between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I try to come on before the game. It was 7:30 is when this episode will be aired on Monday. And like I said, this episode here is totally for you guys just to, hey, Typhoon, you hurt me, man. You hurt me. Or you can say, hey, Typhoon, the advice that you gave me, it really helped. It really helped me win my league. So that's what this is for. That's what this segment is for. Now, look, remember, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Make sure you connect with me on YouTube. That is going to be the overarching hub. That's where everything is going to retire at YouTube. Starting out through Twitter, starting out through Periscope, but the end game, probably about next year. Once I get 1,000 folks, once I get my community in YouTube up to 1,000, I won't do any more alerts for because that's when my super chat opens. I won't do any more alerts for Twitter or Periscope. So to find me, hashtag AskTFT, hashtag ASKTFT for now, because when I open it up, the forum will be wide open and I get super chat. That's when I'll plug into the system and I'll be able to take phone calls. I'm doing this through phone calls, basically. So that's how Typhoon is going to interact with you and answer all your start sit questions. I don't mind. This whole thing is being formatted for me to be able to reach you and me to be able to reach a lot of you, so I can give a lot of you a lot of fantasy advice at one time. This show is help or hurt. I'm a big boy, so if I didn't really give out any advice last week, so there's really no need for hurt or help. But I just want to get acclimated to this time slot in between 6 and 8 o'clock before the Monday night game. Monday night, which we have Nick Foles against Jared Goff. So Nick Foles against Jared Goff. And Tyler Higbee is inactive, according to Adam Schefter. Just came in, just saw it on the Twitter feed. Tyler Higbee is inactive tonight. So make sure you had a contingency plan. That's what I'm here for. See, we could have been talking about this all week and leading up to Friday, pretty much when I do my last show. Maybe I'll start doing some on Sunday. But if you'd got with me Friday, hashtag AskTFT if I'm not live. See, I'm live now. You can hit me with questions right now. I'm live right now. But if you on the replay, hashtag ASKTFT, make sure you use that to get at me. And in that way, we could have discussed it. We could have had a contingency plan. We could have had a backup plan. We could have picked somebody up off the waiver wire. Somebody like David Njoku. Prime example. Austin Hooper was out. We knew that when we went over the Thursday and Friday night rundown. We knew he was inactive early. But we could have we could have improvised. Went ahead and picked up David and Joe, who smashed them into your lineup for the simple fact that Tyler Higbee would be. We didn't know he would be active, but we were, making precautions, and we would have just went ahead and started Njoku in the first place. Now, like I said, this is hurt or help. This is where I man up. If I messed up, say, hey, Typhoon, you hurt me. If I helped you, say, hey, Typhoon, I appreciate the love. You got me to win. This is to interact. Now, I'm thick skinned. I'm a grown man. All this, you an idiot and all that stuff like that. Hey, I can take all that stuff. I know who I am in my own skin. I'm a grown man. I'm secure in my manhood. So, that doesn't bother me. Got a question here. Let's see. Keep it up. Hey man, I appreciate that. Man, I appreciate that. Keep up the grind. Keep up the good work. Actually, that's my first one so far. Like I said, I'm starting from scratch. You got to start somewhere. You can look at everybody else got 2 million followers and all this and that, but at some point, you got to start. And my friend, I'm starting. And look, just for that, just for you being the first one, all my draft kids, everything that comes out of the Fantasy Typhoon Studios or comes from the Fantasy Typhoon or before the Patreon and all that is set up. Even when you call in, I'm going to have level callers like the silver, the bronze, the gold, and the platinum in callers. My friend, you get everything. You don't pay a dime for anything. So make sure I get your email address. Let's see. How can I get your email address? Let's see. Follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, the Fantasy Typhoon on Twitter, DM me. Or you just go ahead and send it straight to me if you don't mind it being public. Make sure I get your email address. Everything I do, you will get free. Let's see. I gotta fix this because I can't. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. So I'll be able to see the question. All right, give me a minute. Let's see. You say keep up the grind. I support. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Wesley. Hold on, I'm letting it update here. All right. How do you feel about Mark Ingram's injury? How do you think Baltimore will coordinate the backfield? Gus the Bus or Dobbins? Look, I just did a video about this pretty much, so it's already on the site. Look, I love Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is my guy. J.K. Dobbins is a dog. J.K. Dobbins is a baller. J.K. Dobbins is the every down back. He can catch. Look, they even motioning him out the backfield so he can catch passes. He's running routes. He's doing everything that you really want him to do, Wesley. I promise you. But here's the thing. Gus the Bus, he is what I want to say, born and raised for that backfield. He's a big, durable guy. I don't know. It's just something about him when he's on the field. It's like he's in unison. The offensive line and Gus the Bus, they are one person. He understands when the holes are going to open up. Those offensive linemen know how to block for Gus the Bus. He is very effective. I don't see him going anywhere. But here's the thing. I was talking to some doctors, and it looks like Mark Ingram had everything's a sprain. So that if it's a high ankle sprain or low ankle sprain, there is no as far as no sprain. So there is a sprain, but the doctors are saying he'll be back November 1st. So Wesley, to be honest with you, it looks like he will be back. So it looks like Mark Ingram will be back. But if Mark Ingram doesn't come back, I like Dobbins myself, but it's not personal preference. Gus the Bus should get the start and Dobbins back him up. Now, or at the same time, they could go ahead and start Dobbins, or this could become the beginning of the Dobbins show, where they go ahead and bring Mark Ingram. They sit Mark Ingram down and say, hey, man, we appreciate the services. What we're going to do, we're going to save you for the playoffs. We're going to go ahead and let the young guy eat a little bit more. So it could go that way. To be honest with you, there's a numerous ways this could go. But hopefully we can get Dobbins on the field a little bit more. Period is what I'm hoping for. Is what I'm hoping for. Get a little bit more. Get a little bit more of him. Period. All right. Moving on to the second part of the show. Is the show is hurt or help. If I hurt you, let me have it. If I helped you, let me have it. Now we're here to go through the top 5 of each position. Well, we know we still got Jared Goff, and we still got Nick Foles. We still got Allen Robinson. We still got David Montgomery. We still got Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown. We still got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Van Jefferson and da 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 da. But as of right now, today, boy, these are some standouts at the QB position. I'm going over the top 5 QBs. I go over the top 5 running backs. I go over the top 5 wide receiver, and I go by the top 5 tight ends for this week. I go over the top 5 for this week, and we will and then we will move on. Justin Herbert. Take a bow, Justin Herbert. Take a bow. Justin Herbert. Number 1 fantasy quarterback in fantasy football thus far. We know we still know we got Nick Foles and Jared Goff coming up. 43.9 points, fantasy points for folks in PPR. 43.9 PPR points for for Justin Herbert. Who would have thought Justin Herbert would be able to produce that many fantasy points? He went like in the 3rd round of your 1 QB league in your Superflex. What early to late first. Early to late first. Boy. Mm-hmm. Hold on, Wesley. I see you. I'm gonna get to you right before I get to the running back. 66 rushing yards, Justin Herbert. 347 passing yards, Justin Herbert. 1 rushing touchdown. This is in 4-point TDs for QB, so that's why he's number 1. It might be a little different in yours if it's standard or if it's a 6-point QB league. The 1 rushing TD probably did it. That was 6 points, and then 3 passing TD. Now that Justin guy, I'm picking him up off waivers. So just to let you know, he's not a ad that I really have to have. Now, don't forget, we're coming at you tomorrow at 8:00. I have my good friend Shane P. Hallam. We'll go through a Monday Night Football recap, and then we'll get to point 7. Tom Brady at 42.5. So, yes, that Russian TD did push Herbert over the top in 4-point QB league. Joe Burrow, 39.7, another rookie. Wow. Stand up and take a bow. Stand up and take a bow. Stand up and take a bow. Let's see. Russell Wilson, good old let him cook Russell Wilson, 35.8. Russell Wilson coming in at 35.8. So those are your top 5 QBs: Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, and Russell Wilson. If you had those in your lineup, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Let it be known. Let it be known. Let it be known. All right. Before we get to the running back, I got a couple of questions that I need to address. Now I have to fix this how I need to answer these questions. I'll figure it out. Thank you guys for rocking with me. We go through the top running back for week 7. Whoa, you're going to be surprised who's on here. All right, let me get back to Wesley. You think Antonio Brown will have an immediate fantasy impact in the redraft league? Yes. Antonio Brown is coming to eat. Absolutely. Antonio Brown and Tom Brady already have a little connection that they started in Boston up there. They already have a connection. Absolutely. Antonio Brown comes in immediately, just like he did in New England. He came in New England, he had like 4 catches, about 50 yards and a touchdown. If that's immediate impact for you, then yes, that he should have an immediate impact. If that's enough for you. Now, I know you're used to the old Antonio Brown Steeler days. What? Old Antonio Brown Steeler days. We're looking at about what? Get 12 catches, 142 yards. Two touchdowns. So yeah, Antonio Brown, I do expect him to have an immediate impact, Wesley. Let's see. Let me get on to the next question here. Let's see. I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce your name. I'll just say Ashat, thank you for joining the first episode of Game Time. Hope you guys can hear me good. I've been having trouble with my microphone. But look, Mr. Ashat, absolutely. Sell Lockett. And let me tell you why. Should I sell Lockett high after this week? Absolutely, you should. Now, if you're a contending team, you might want to go ahead and stick on to him. Try to help see if you can go ahead and get you a chip in your dynasty leagues. But if you are not a contender, absolutely sell him high. And, bring the haul back to me. Hashtag AskTFT. Ask me, and I'll let you know, help you go through trade negotiations. And we'll get you the maximum price for Lockett. Absolutely sell Lockett. This is what I call, now I have tips and tricks and recommendations. I have over 220 tips and tricks that I've been uploading over the weeks. I have them written down, but I've uploaded, I would say, about 20. So I'm on like 20. So it's on the site. It's under the playlist, fantasy football tips and tricks. There's a tip I call a 7-day cash out. That's when a player shows out, and it's a perfect example for Lockett. When a player shows out and his future is cloudy, make sure you go ahead and trade him for maximum value, because the future is DK Metcalf. This is going to be DK Metcalf's team, but not this year. What did I say? I think about 20. I think after this year, his contract is going to be out. I think it's 2020. At the end of 2021 season, Tyler Lockett's contract will expire. So they're going to move on for Lockett. They're not going to bring him back. So this is going to be Metcalf's team going forward. So make sure you do start making provisions for that. Let me see. Let me get one more in, and let me get to these running backs. Yeah. So I do have a video up on DK Metcalf. It's on the site. I was going over year 2 players, and I was already in. Well, I mean, everybody was pretty much in on DK Metcalf, but nobody really told you why he was going to soar. Everybody just pretty much gave you a bunch of numbers, and that's why, from past, I told you the system-wise, the traditional pro set offense, and it's flow through. It flows. The offense flows through the X position, which is what DK Metcalf runs. Back to Wesley. Oh, okay. Ashat, also you too. Make sure I get your email address. Everything I do here at Fantasy Football 101, everything I do, every draft kit, every Patreon member, every phone call, as this channel grows and the more people come in, you will get everything free, Mr. Ashat. Make sure I get your information. Wesley, you too. Traded away a late 2021 and a late 2020. Oh, for Justin Jefferson and Claypool. Woo! Boy, I got to give you one. I got to give you one, Wesley. I got to give you one. That's how we do it. Ballers. We want ballers. And I'll be doing an episode of what a baller is. But you hear me say ballers a lot, and I want you guys to understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say baller. You got 2 future ballers that you can build your team around. So kind of hold on to these guys. Now, I know nobody can be not, the not traded. Everybody has a price, right? Everybody has a trade. Everybody, like I tell everybody, my whole team is available, but everybody has a price. Like if you want DK Metcalf, you better come with at least 3 ones and the player. You see what I'm saying? But he can be sold, but his price might be high. So beautiful, beautiful deal, Wesley. Beautiful deal, Wesley. Excuse me, one more. Let me do one more, Mr. I shot. I won't leave you hanging there, sir. I won't leave you hanging. I gotta wait until it updates so I can see it on my screen here. I have 2 screens up, so I have to wait until it updates and then I can see your question. I know you see it now up on the screen, but I don't see it yet. And I'll fix this as we go. All right, here we go. I'm 6-1 right now, so I'm thinking about sticking with it. Yeah, 6-1 is good. 6-1 is good, but make sure, see, secure. You might not never use them, but it's COVID. It was COVID season, so I was a big advocate on get yourself ready for COVID. All right, let me get to these running backs. These running backs take a bow. Running back, take a bow. Jeffrey Wilson. He got hurt though against the Patriots. Jeffrey Wilson. Boy, is this kind of hand running game insane? No offense to Jeffrey Wilson, no offense to Mostert, no offense to Hasty, no offense to Coleman, no offense to McKinnon. And it's Shanahan. Look, the water boy on the sideline can come in and go for 200 and for 200 and 3 touchdowns. Let's see what he did. 34 point. This is for 6-point TDs in your fantasy league. He got 2 receptions for 8 yards, 112 rushing yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. So he is the top dog as of right now. Hell no, David Montgomery might have a big night, but as of right now, 7:00 on October 26th, Monday, October 26th. James Rock, woo, another boy. When these rookies show up, I gotta give them some love. James Robinson, Jacksonville running back, 33.7 points, 33.7 fantasy points, 33.7 fantasy points. How did he do it? 18 receiving yards, 4 receptions, 18 receiving yards, 119 rushing yards, 1 receiving TD, 1 rushing 2-pointer, and 1 rush TD. Boy, he was being used. Now this is a guy I would sell. I would hold off if I'm in a contender. I'm running. I wouldn't do the 7-day cash out, but before trade deadline, if I'm not a contender, this is a new regime coming in next year. Those guys are not going to want a UDFA to be the lead back. They're going to bring in another running back with a high pedigree. But Robinson does look good, I must admit. But Doug Marrone and Gruden, Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, they're on their way out. So watch yourself in those situations when there's new regime. Alvin Kamara, 22.8. Todd Gurley, 22.2. And here is my man here. I always said I liked him better than Kenyon Drake. Chase Edmonds coming in at the top 5 running back at number 5 at the 21.5 slot. Chase Edmonds. Wow, Chase Edmonds. All right, let's move to these wide receivers. Let's see what we're working with for week 7. Who were the top 5? Who were the guys that won leagues for you? Who were those guys? Name yourself. Tyler Lockett, of course. We just talked about Tyler Lockett. Coming in at 55. Tyler Lockett. Take a bow, Tyler Lockett. Take a bow, Tyler Lockett. Take a bow. Wesley and Mr. Oshot, make sure I get your information. 15 receptions, 200 receiving yards, 3 receiving TDs. Now, look, I know you guys, I own DK Metcalf, and you got to understand the difference between game flow and game plan. Like I said, it's on the site. These videos are on the site one-on-one to kind of hold you by the hand. And these just some tips and tricks that I've learned, that work for me, and I put things up that didn't work for me. That's why this is a community. As we talk, Ashot and Wesley, I'll learn from you too. We'll all learn together is what I'm trying to do. Tyler Lockett, 55 points. Devontae Adams, next up, 46.6. Well, if you face those two, good luck. Somebody had Tyler Lockett and Devontae Adams, and you were facing them, man, it really, boy, you would have, woo, boy. Tyler Boyd coming in at 29.9 at number 3. A.J. Brown, 29.3. Deontay Johnson, 29 points. See, these are these second-year guys. Second-year guy did a video on Deontay Johnson. Was getting ready to do a video on A.J. Brown, never really got to it. Now I'm furloughed now, so I got time for this. See how these second-year guys are starting to take that leap. They're starting to grow up. Your Terry McLaurin and those type guys, your Deontay Johnson, your DK Metcalf. And folks want to talk about the receiving class this year. The receiving class was last year. Let me go over these tight ends and then I'll wrap it up. Guys, make sure I get your information. Everything I do here, you get free for joining me early and getting on the ship early when it's very shaky. I have a lot of complications right now. Some things like the microphone sometimes doesn't work right. I'm trying to get this show acclimated to where it's flawless. And you guys are in the beginning, and I deeply appreciate your support now. So when this thing gets to 100,000 and 1 million, you guys will not be forgotten. All right, week 7. We're going to look at the tight ends. We're going to wrap this one up. This show is Hurt or Help. It's really designed so when I do give you advice, and I will stand up in front of the firing squad, and I'll ask you, did I hurt you or did I help you? Give you a chance to let steam off. Because at the end of the day, I know this game's not real. Nothing about this game is real. Whoa! Number 1 so far is Harrison Bryant, rookie. Oh, I got to get his rookie. Harrison Bryant, number 1. Gotta give it to him. Let me give you another one, Harrison Bryant. Harrison Bryant, rookie. 21.6 points. As you can see, these point totals are not really astronomical for a tight end. 4 receptions, 56 yards, 2 TDs right there is number 1 tight end of the week. Good old Gronk coming in at a 17.2. Good old Darren Waller coming in at a 17. Here we go, another one of those guys. TJ Hop, 16.9. Thomas Logan, Washington tight end, 16 points. I'll go ahead and do the next 2. Richard Rodgers. You see, that's why Dallas Goedert in your dynasty leagues needs to be a target. I got Dallas Goedert right before they played week 1, before he had that huge 36-point outing in PPR leagues. I already had him on my roster. I gave away Devin Singletary. I traded out Devin Singletary, brought in Dallas Goedert. He got hurt on me. He was getting 8-9 targets a game. Zach Ertz is already out the building for the simple fact that next year, the cap is coming down. That's another reason for life. The cap is coming down next year. So that's going to be a lot of chairs moving next year. Like James Robinson, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars, there's going to be a lot of running backs on the street. There's going to be a lot of running backs looking for a home next year because this cap, due to COVID-19, is coming down, and these players, these these organizations and these GMs has got to trim the fat off these rosters. So Zach Ertz is out the building. They've already tried to renegotiate with, after Kittle got his big money, Kels got his big money. They already tried to renegotiate with Zach. And check this out. They gave Zach, all right, they made an offer to Zach during the offseason in training right before they came to camp. Ertz turned it down, right? So they come back again. Ertz, right when everybody did their contract, Ertz come back to the table. His agent called, all right, let's do a contract. They offered him less than they offered him the first time. So his price went down. Now he's hurt. He's looked slow. Now he's being, he can't get separation like he used to. So now they're not paying for him. Dallas Goedert is already has the eye and has the relationship with Carson Wentz. And Philadelphia is a tight end friendly team. Doug Peterson, they just use tight ends there. So as you can see right here, prime example, Richard Rodgers, first day on the job pretty much as the main tight end, 14.5 points. Let's see how many targets he got. He got 6 receptions for 85 yards from a tight end. Let's just think if this was Dallas Goedert. So I already start making your preparations now. Go ahead and do that. I wouldn't call it a buy low. Just don't pay high. That's all. Because I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it. I'm not going to act like this is some secret about Dallas Goedert. You just need to get in where you fit in. Look, I already put up the video. The person that wins the trade is the information. I'm here to give you this information so you can win trade. That's who wins the trade. The person who sees the player on the uptick the earliest in your dynasty league is going to win the trade. He's going to run the league. He's going to have his foot on everybody in the league for the simple fact he's making moves earlier than you. He's coming to get Chase Claypool as before week 1. He was already knocking on your door for Chase Claypool. You see what I'm saying? He was already, hey, look, let me get Chase. What you want for Chase Claypool? Harrison Bryant was on the wire. I picked him up earlier, but I own David Njoku already, so I just went ahead and I don't mind missing on a tight end anyway. Just did a video on tight ends. Never draft a tight end in your first round. That video is in the tips and tricks. Albert Okwuegbunam. I had it one time. I don't know how to pronounce it now. Albert O taking the place of Noah Fant. Noah Fant was out there hobbling. He was trying to give it a go. He tried to make it work. Let's see what Albert O did. 7 receptions for 60 yards. Noah Fant still has 7 receptions. So that is a tight end friendly organization. I just brought in Noah Fant earlier. I redid my whole tight end room for Mecole Hardman, Tyler Higbee, and a third. I'm not losing any sleep over that. Mecole Hardman did a video on him. I already told you to sell him. So I brought in Noah Fant. At the end of the year, I'm trading out Noah Fant. Goddard is going to be my main piece going forward as far as my tight end. All right, guys. This has been the first episode of Hurt or Help. Really didn't get a chance to take your questions on if I hurt or helped you yet because I haven't really dished out enough advice. But this time slot on Monday, right before the Monday night game, is slated for Hurt or Help. It's the Fantasy Typhoon. I appreciate you. And we go.
It's about to go down in a minute. Let me touch down. I'ma get it. Cause I been waiting all night. It's game time.